everyone. Good morning. Thanks so much for attending our event. I'm Julia, and I did Integral's LinkedIn live migration to SQL Server on Ubuntu on Azure in the past, and I'm so excited to be back for my second event. So if you didn't see that one where we migrated SQL Server start to finish in under 20 minutes, definitely check that out. We're going to throw a link in the chat. And we'll also throw a link in the chat to our complete product list in the Azure Marketplace. You'll see there we have over 200 Microsoft preferred solutions that range from VMs to containers to managed apps. So head over to that link to check those out too. But today we are onto another one of our solutions. It's going to be a managed app, and that is our WordPress 6 on Ubuntu 22.04 on Azure. But before we get started, I'm so happy to introduce you to Omid here on LinkedIn with me today.
Thank you for the introduction. Good morning, everyone. Omid Small here, Customer Success Manager at Integral. And you may remember me from the Ascent OS 8 in-place upgrade to Oracle Linux 8. And I'm excited to be here and talk about WordPress.
Awesome. So again, we are Integral and we help you migrate to the cloud. And I'm going to be your contact for any support with our WordPress 6 on Ubuntu on Azure. So again, I'm Julia. And during this live, please feel free to drop any questions in the chat. And then after this live session ends, you can contact me at success@integral.com about anything WordPress.
So Julia, help us understand today, what is WordPress?
Yeah, basically WordPress is an extremely popular open source content management system, which we refer to as a CMS, and it's mainly used for building websites and blogs.
And why do people use WordPress 6 on Ubuntu 22.04?
So a few reasons WordPress is so popular, first of all, because it's so easy to use. It's highly flexible. It has a huge range of themes and plugins. But what we've done at Integral is combined WordPress with Ubuntu as an Azure managed application. And our WordPress 6 on Ubuntu LAMP stack is PHP based, which I'm going to let you get into. But first, I'm actually going to start the deployment. So I'll share my screen.
Awesome. And for deeper context, LAMP stack includes Linux, Apache, MySQL, Python, and LAMP is actually one of the most common software stacks on the web.
Awesome. Thank you, Omid. So I'm here at the Azure Marketplace, searching for our products. This is the one we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to get it now. And you'll see just how easy it is to just fill this out. So here we are. I'm going to select the starter plan, create. I'm going to select our resource group here. And at Integral, we have all of our naming conventions. So I'm going to put my virtual machine name, my appropriate disk size, my application name. I'm going to just delete some of these extra numbers here. And again, we're going to time this to see just how quick this is. Oops, excuse me. Next, I don't need to do anything for networking at the moment. Same thing for tags. We're going to leave that for now. You'll see here our starting price, which we're going to talk about. I'm going to agree to the terms and conditions, and I'm going to create. And just like that, we are going to start deployment.
And while Julia is spinning up WordPress, I wanted to point out a few versatile features of WordPress. So WordPress 6 on Ubuntu 22.04 includes headless CMS, customizable content models, extensible plugins, REST and GraphQL APIs, content location, webhooks, new and improved block themes, full block editing, and new block features.
Awesome. Thank you, Omid. And also, while that's spinning up, can you help listeners understand what makes our WordPress different from other versions out there on the marketplace?
Of course. The Integral's version of WordPress includes easy scalability, No usage or user limits, so it's unlimited solutions and seats. Plans that start as low as $75 a month. Rock solid security that's compatible with Microsoft Defender for added protection. Optional availability zones, deployable to any supported Azure region, and WordPress plus the power of Azure. But most importantly, Julia, it's hassle-free and enterprise-ready, configured and ready to launch right out of the box.
And that is just so important as a comparison when you look at traditional methods of installing something like this. So that LAMP stack, when you traditionally need to deploy that in the cloud, if you were to do a Bing search, for example, you would see really just how manually intensive it is, setting up that virtual machine, securing it, installing that LAMP stack, setting up your database, configuring your DNS, doing those regular backups, scaling manually. So really, I love that comparison. That last point you made is just so important.
In the past, I've actually run into some frustration trying to install WordPress. Sometimes I've actually encountered the incorrect server requirements, the dreaded white screen of death, and it's reassuring that Integral's WordPress avoids those mishaps.
Absolutely. That's something that users really love about Integral Solutions, is that so many of those steps are configured for you so you don't run into those issues.
So Julia, Integral Solution automatically installs Linux, Apache, MySQL, and Python as it configures WordPress?
Exactly. So your LAMP stack is being configured here. Our VM is going to be running on Ubuntu. We have our Apache web server, which is speaking in PHP because our WordPress is written in PHP. All the packages required by WordPress are being installed. Our database, which is MySQL, is being installed, and all those variables necessary for MySQL.
And for those of you who are just joining us, we're discussing key features of Integral's WordPress 6 on Ubuntu 22.04. And Julia is showing us how to deploy WordPress in the cloud. So Julia, you mentioned in the introduction that this is an Azure managed application. Can you go into a little bit more detail on what that means?
Definitely. So Azure Managed Application Resources are deployed to managed resource groups that are then managed by the application's publisher, which in this case is us, Integral. So as a managed app here, we have many things being easily deployed and managed. We have our network configuration, the deployment itself, the scripts being run, and those are all happening based on the instructions that the user fills out in the form. So like you just saw me do just a minute ago. So it combines the complexities of configuring WordPress with the ability to streamline the deployment into Azure.
And to our viewers, currently we're deploying WordPress 6 on Ubuntu into Azure. Please feel free to comment in the chat or email us if you have any questions. If you're watching this at a later date, email us at success@integral.com. Any questions, we'd be happy to answer. So Julia, what type of users actually benefit from WordPress?
Yeah, WordPress being so popular as that CMS, really so many different users can benefit from it. So of course, being a CMS, we're going to have those bloggers, the freelancers and website developers, small business owners to those large, more enterprise size agencies. But something I want to highlight today are the digital agencies as those that can highly benefit from a managed app like this. So WordPress is so popular and digital agencies need to see those business outcomes immediately and start using them. And this is really the fastest way to configure their WordPress into the cloud and scale it and meet that demand that's inevitable during the holiday seasons. Just as a note, our deployment is complete, but I just want to finish this point because this was a great question. So as you see, so again, also this is how you get these managed apps integrated into your CI/CD pipelines as quickly as possible, so that any of those users, digital agencies, or whoever really can reach those business outcomes as quickly as possible.
And that's perfect because Black Friday and Cyber Monday are right around the corner. And to give context, that deployment actually finished in under 5 minutes.
That's amazing. And you'll see just how amazing that is in a second. But yeah, that was a great point too. That website traffic will happen. And this is a great way to just be ready for it and ensure that automatic scalability and unlimited solutions for those unlimited seats, like you mentioned, are going to be just used to the maximum potential. So yeah, and our deployment is complete. So you can see my screen here. So just a couple next steps. I'm going to go to the resource. I'm going to go to my managed resource group and select my VM and copy my public IP address, just open a new tab. And We have our beautiful WordPress logo. I'm going to continue in my language of choice. And I want a fun website title. And I have to say, Omid, I heard that your favorite food is peanut butter. Is that correct? And it is, you might not believe me, but Google it, Bing it. It is National Peanut Butter Month.
Wow.
So we are going to go ahead and run with that. And everyone drop your favorite peanut butter recipe in the chat. Julia's PB blog.
I'm excited to see these recipes.
I'm so excited too. Hope we get some good ones. Julia. So with just a couple extra steps here, you'll see again, that was 4.5 minutes just to get here. And look at this, we are running WordPress in the cloud, right?
Wow.
Just
extremely
so
fast.
So,
Total of 8 minutes.
Okay, isn't that amazing? We're running WordPress on Ubuntu. So again, just for some deeper context, our VM is running in Ubuntu. We have our Apache web server. Our Apache is, like we said, speaking in PHP. We have all those packages installed required by WordPress. We've installed our MySQL database, all of its logins, and we are ready to configure our CMS however we choose.
And talk about peanut butter.
And talk about peanut butter and get to cooking some recipes.
So why did we choose to run WordPress on Ubuntu?
Great question. Ubuntu is a very popular Linux distribution, and we chose it for a couple reasons. It's user-friendly, it's highly stable and secure, it's customizable, it has a great, strong, supportive community, and so yeah, just overall great software abilities. So it's going to be a win-win with that super popular WordPress, plus the accessibility on Ubuntu, and then all of that on the power of Azure is winning combo.
So here's a question for you. What if a staff is already highly proficient in WordPress? Is it really necessary to host it in the cloud?
Yeah, that's a great question. So even if, and actually especially if your staff is highly proficient in WordPress, you're missing out if you're not hosting it in the cloud. So traditional hosting just doesn't allow you to realize WordPress's full effects. So WordPress in the cloud, and in our solutions case on Ubuntu, just a few immediate benefits. You're going to see that increased scalability, speed, performance, security, flexibility, and on top of that, the cost savings that our plans have, those monthly costs with unlimited seats and solutions, is the cloud is going to be a game changer for your WordPress staff, your staff using that.
And to our viewers, I just wanted to throw a quick reminder out there. We do have a live virtualization of MariaDB 10 on Ubuntu 20.04 coming up at the end of this month. So you guys stay tuned and keep an eye out on our LinkedIn page.
Excited for that.
And let's see if we have any questions in the chat. So we have a question here. And what backup and disaster recovery options are available when hosting WordPress in the cloud?
Yeah, that's a great question, really important. So hosting your resources in the cloud is a great option when it comes to security regarding disaster recovery. Your data is easily replicated, and you can always turn on automatic backups in Azure. So yeah, definitely doable.
And let's see if we have any other questions. Another one just came in. How does hosting WordPress in the cloud make your website more globally accessible?
Yeah, it absolutely will make your website more accessible because the solution is available anywhere where Microsoft Azure is supported. So that support is always growing in size and in location globally. Great question.
And on to the next question. How does cloud hosting enhance the reliability and uptime of a WordPress website?
Yeah, so similar how WordPress in the cloud ensures better disaster recovery, it does the same with reliability and uptime. So the cloud actually has regional pairs that guarantee uptime when your local region might go down. And that is something that's not guaranteed with traditional hosting. So uptime is extremely important, again, for for website traffic right now, especially. Great question.
I think we have enough time for one more question. How can the cloud help in mitigating and handling security threats?
Yeah, so the cloud definitely ensures extremely high security and handles security threats very seriously. It has real-time threat protection, automated response and remediation, continuous updates, and really manually doing this with traditional hosting, that would be time consuming and very complicated, much more complicated than running WordPress in the cloud and handling those threats. All right, let's check the chat for any other questions. But if there are no more at the moment, please join us in just a couple weeks for Omid's deployment of MariaDB live here on LinkedIn. And in the meantime, please email with any questions about Integral's WordPress. And again, that email to contact me is success@integral.com. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you. And Omid, thank you so much for joining me today on LinkedIn.
Thank you for having me.
All right, everyone, have a wonderful day.